Alright, so, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're gonna try to get it working. First things first. So, OBS likes to do this thing where, in order to perfectly center text, even though you might say that the alignment is, oh, is that what I did wrong? Alignment center, right? Yeah, let's make that alignment center. Hold on. And if I make that alignment center... Nope, still does it. So let me show you what's going on here. Oh, I guess I can't really show you that now, can I? Because it just kind of... That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, I guess I'll put this back up here. This thing right here, the text will not align unless we put an extra space in front of it. So let me go over here and let me try to go to the bottom screen. So right here, so here's my little title in OBS, right? And in order to get this working, I have to actually add one space before what I'm typing. One space before the text string, and then no spaces after the end of the text string. And if I do that, then when I'm working on this title, the title will properly center. So I think that OBS has like an off by one error. And I'm gonna guess it's something that's never going to get addressed because it's like a lot of those little annoying things in software like never get addressed, it seems, right? Because people are always like, hey, let's just add more and more features to the software, but let's never polish things to where they need to be. Anyways. I want to work on the camera. Hold on. Yeah, so I want to work on some camera logic here. Let's go down here. And in order to get that working, what we're going to do... Well, first we're going to try to figure out why our windows like to slightly leak off the edges when we snap them in the corners. Okay, anyways. Let's open up our PAINT5D stuff. But not PAINT5D, but P5D. And we have, like, this functions file. Now, this is a little bit kind of misleading because the functions file here is pretty much just full of, like, unit test code. And that's kind of confusing. All the actual code for this is not in the function file, it's actually in a separate folder called OpenGL hack code. I don't know if that's like where we want to put it. But the idea was to have one place where we put like all of our shader code that, it's not just shader code, it's like we write the code as, C99 so we can cut and paste it into shader strings. So this right here should compile as proper C99 code if we haven't made any stupid mistakes, but we have added a lot of stuff, so there is the potential that we kind of mess this up. Also, what the heck is with this? Why do I have all this commented out? Like, if we are going to if we want to echo out what's wrong, then that's fine. Why did I decide to comment it out? I don't know why I decided to comment this out. It seems like something that would be fine here. Pane pix to covey pix. Is this pane pix to covey pix? Yeah, this is pane pix to covey pix. Now, why does this not match, though? Pane pix to covey pix. Convert to... Yeah, what the hell is wrong with that? Why is this different? It seems like this token is different. Like, if I highlight this, it's... Oh, it is highlighting down here, but it didn't go the other way. I don't know why that is. Okay, so... we need to look at this code and think about what we're doing here. And do we want to keep this error checking code, like, right there, inlined like that? Or do we want to just remove it? I think it does add a lot of extra bloat to this file, which might not be something desirable. But commenting it out and putting it in the shader string, that's still bloat. So, I mean, we can always redo this if it comes down to being a problem, I think. That's the only thing that really sticks out to me as something kind of like really ugly. Also, this is ugly, right? So this has to be... we need to make sure that we have spaces, right? We need space for... so we need space to allow this to be cut and pasted into a shader stream. It looks like, for the most part, you know, I did that, and then in other places, like, oops, forgot. Or, in this case, it looks like I didn't forget, it just got too long. So let's look over here and see what this is. Tile exponent to max coordinate versus tile exponent to something or other, the heck. Yeah, so this needs to be changed. So we need to refactor this to something a little bit shorter. It looks like we need 1, 2, 3 less characters at the very least to get this working. So I'm thinking, oh no, like, ETM and exponent to MC. So we could, I think we could rename this as like exponent to MC, like that. And then I think we do have 3 less characters, right? But we need to just make it a little bit shorter, right? Oh, and then this one, we can take this one and we can call this one E2SA, right? And that kind of sucks for the naming convention, but the thing is that we really want to just make these kind of shorter so that everything kind of fits in here within that border, right? So I think what we should do is, the first thing we want to do is just look through here, make sure everything is properly indented, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just make sure everything's properly indented to a point where it makes sense when we're gonna when we cut and paste it and want to surround it in quote marks or whatever the heck we want to do with it. We just want it to all be nicely justified. Yes, this is paste into, and then we have some other stuff, but this is the stuff we want to cut and paste into our GLSL shader code, right? So all this stuff should be justified so that it'll be easy to facilitate cutting and pasting. So let's give this a run, and then we have not done any of our push-ups today, and it's 10, 11, 12. That means we have 2 hours. So we have 2 hours to get 100 things done. Then we're gonna have to crunch pretty hard to get that done. So let's try to, like, right now it's 9 minutes. Let's make sure this works. And then we're gonna cut paste this code into Oh, nice. It even says what file to paste it into, right? Paste it into P5D001. So assuming this code runs and it passes all of its tests, which looks like this test is really beefy. I don't know why. Well, there's a lot of loops, so it does make sense. But yeah, so let's paste this into the main shader code. So let's kind of take this and we might want to reevaluate how we're doing this and maybe say, hey, maybe it's about time to get some type of automated system for this, because I get that you don't want an automated system, but maybe some type of bash script to assist the problem. Also, this is bad. Like, I get why we have this, you know, define in ifdef, and we kind of did it like this, but we absolutely, 1, 2, 3, 4, we absolutely need to make space for being able to surround this in quotes. So it needs to be justified so that we can at least get some quote marks around it. So, boy, that is a pretty heavy-duty section, right? This is a pretty heavy-duty section, but 1, 2, 3, 4, we at least need the padding here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so let's take that. Let's assume we haven't screwed anything up, but yeah, we just need to make sure that everything is right and left justified to where it's kind of inset a little bit, so that we can cut and paste this into the main shader code and just make sure that it compiles as proper GLSL code. And it looks like the next thing we might really want to do is not work on this, but actually work on shutting off certain unit tests, because like, if we have to, right, this is taking up time, and yes, we got to figure out how to save time on that, but also, so PAINT5D default shaders, do we decide to put it in there? And what's hack 001? Like, we have way too much stuff where it's like we have too many files. We have too many files all over the place. So what is this hack code? We put this code in its own clue code. It's getting way too complex and hard to follow. Oh, got ya. This was for, like, a unit test. So I understand why that's there. But still, it's kind of like we have PAINT5D default shaders, and then we have PAINT5D. I'm not sure if I like it kind of like that. But yeah, let's go in here. Actually, let's rename this. Let's go rename to version 002, because we know this version works. And then let's go make a new file, alright? So let's take all this copy, file new, and paste that. Let's open up the PAINT5D shader. So PAINT5D default shaders, let's open up version 2. And let's take version 2, copy it, and put that into a new file. And then the only thing we want to do really is we want to take this code right here, and within here, we just want to paste this new shader string, right? So this big old thing right here, I'm going to take that and we just want to paste a new one in, right? So OpenGL is defined right here, so that changes how it compiles, and we just want to go paste, and paste the whole thing in there. Make sure we didn't mess up the indentation at the very beginning, which we did. And then, yeah, we just want to add, like, right up here. So this is very time consuming. This is why we need some type of build script for this, I think. I'd rather not have a build script for this, but I think that, yeah, this is a little bit tedious. I think that we don't want to, I don't think we want to do this every time we want to get, every time we want to get this code into the GLSL code. Like, this is going to take up this takes up a large amount of time, right, to go through all of here and be like, hey, let's go all the way through here and you know, put it into a big, gigantic string, right? This is very hackish, very time-consuming. It only gets more and more time-consuming as we make the logic more and more complex. And if this logic gets more complex, and if we made some type of syntax error here, where there's no syntax errors when it's compiled as C99, but for whatever reason, something we did makes a syntax error we compile as GLSL, then we're going to have a problem, because we're going to have a problem where we just did all this work, and there's the potential that, okay, well, here's the problem. Error messages. We can't really do that, can we? Like, I see, so we decided, hey, we're going to use some error messages because the error macros, would just not, yeah, so our error macros, yeah, we can't be doing this. This is a bad idea, right? Because we can't wrap it in a string like that. So this is bad news. So we really need to go back here to where we wrote this fragment shader code and look for this error macro. And we really need to stringify one of the arguments, right? So we need to, if we want this to work, we need to do a little bit more macro magic with how that works. So we don't want to directly call this macro. We want to call something where we don't have to stringify it, right? Where we can just put something in it, and that argument gets turned into a string. So I'm going to do that. Before I do that, I need to take a break to, yeah, I need to take a break already, I know. But yeah, I will be back. Yeah, I need to get some exercise and be back, so I'm just going to stop the stream now, even though it's only 17 minutes in, and then try to do more when I come back.